Sometimes it can be incredibly hard to set yourself apart from the group. Sometimes the lighting is just too perfect in your room and you just have to film a video. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I have been experiencing a bit of loneliness for the entirety of my life, I would say. And it's not what you think. Being lonely and being a loner isn't always a steady stream of I've always been lonely and I always will be lonely. Loneliness is one of those things that kind of goes up and down like most things in life. But what I'm talking about specifically about being alone, being a loner, is I found that most of the biggest things in my life have happened on my own. I've learned some of the biggest lessons on my own. I've had some of the hardest times on my own. I've had to adapt and grow on my own. And of course, that's not to say that I didn't have help from other people and even have divine intervention step its way in to help at times. But I've recognized and truly come to a place where I accept that this is my path. For anybody that's into numerology, I am a life path number 1. I was born to be a leader. I was born to pave the way and to lead by example. And with that comes a lot of being alone, having alone time, and not always being surrounded by somebody that truly understands that. I'm also an oldest sibling, and I also happen to be the oldest cousin on both sides of my family. So needless to say, I have a lot of experience in being a leader, being the oldest, being responsible, and kind of paving a path forward, for better or worse. There's definitely some benefits that come to being somebody that tackles a lot of things on their own and is the first one to try or do a lot of things in their family or their friend group or their community, but it can also be quite lonely. I definitely don't always feel like I'm understood, and I recognize that in the grand scheme of things and in the grand pool of people that exists in the world, I'm definitely not the only one who feels this way. In fact, the more time I scour the internet when I should be falling asleep at night, the more I've actually been able to recognize that same sense deep inside many people. A lot of people feel alone, and a lot of people feel lonely, even if they're surrounded by lots of people, even if they have lots of friends, even if they get tons of likes or comments. And I'm starting to recognize that I think that this is just an innate part of human nature. I don't think we can truly ever escape it. I think there's things that can be done to help minimize this, but overall, I feel like loneliness and feeling truly alone is something that just exists in our human nature. I feel like part of this has to do with viewing the world through the lens of the ego. I share a belief that the ego is not all bad. It's there for a reason, it serves a purpose, and it's definitely used as a tool for learning and also for survival and protection in a sense. But one of the drawbacks with the ego is it tries to keep you safe in your own little bubble, in your own little mind. And if you're the one that created that bubble, no one else, no matter how close they get to you, can ever truly see it from your perspective. At best, they could only catch a glimpse. I used to kind of fight this aloneness for a long time, and I would fight it by going out and making new friends and talking to people, or God forbid, being in a romantic relationship. Even doing things that would get me attention, even from strangers, whether it's just the way I'm presenting myself or whatnot, were all attempts and acts to help me to get out of this alone feeling, like I was truly alone. It was to help me be seen, it was to help me be noticed, and therefore, if I feel seen and I'm noticed, I will feel included. However, recently I've come to fully embrace and accept this. I'm no longer fighting against being alone and being a leader. I understand that I was born to be this way for a reason. If you're out there listening and you feel very similar to this, try not to fight it. Embrace it. You were born to be a leader. In fact, there's a good chance other people look to you for guidance and for examples, whether they're looking to your failures so they can avoid making those same mistakes, or whether they're looking to your successes as to feel inspired to pursue their own dreams and aspirations. You serve a purpose, and though you may feel lonely at times, there's other people that look to you for guidance and many others that wish they were in your shoes. I was spending some time with a friend recently, and we were doing tarot readings for each other, which is like a fun thing that I like to do with some of my friends. And my friend did a tarot reading for me, and in the cards it very clearly said, this is not a year of romance for me. This is not a year of partnership or companionship at all. This is a year of different focuses for me. And at first I just thought, well, this is confirming to me what I already kind of believed and already kind of felt was happening. And then I immediately felt this immense weight lifted off my shoulders. And the reason is it gave me permission to just accept being alone, loving myself, focusing on my craft, focusing on what I'm doing, and just enjoying my own company. Just because I'm not pursuing a romantic relationship doesn't mean that I can't fully love and enjoy the friendships and the family that I do have in my life. Instead, it's allowed me to take the pressure off, to just allow myself to be, really sit with the feeling for a good while about how it feels to be on my own, how it feels to not use a relationship to help distract me from this feeling of loneliness that I do carry within me. And so far, I have found an immense amount of peace. I genuinely have found lots of peace. I allow myself to express my emotions freely. I allow myself to think through ideas and concepts, and I listen to myself. I journal with myself. I dance with myself. I take care of me, and being alone doesn't have to be lonely. In fact, I found that if you just give it a try, you will really enjoy your own company, your own care, and you may even find a sense of peace and well-being as well. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope you have a beautiful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and remember to stay grounded as always, my dear friends.